It is Sunday night, and you know what that means. It is time for another episode of the Kicking Out podcast. Your so-called predictions champion, once again, is nowhere to be found. So joining me tonight is the Shep, Austin Shepherd, who says Sunday Fun Day times 6.
I think we're just going to keep this as an ongoing thing. Because until you cannot have a Sunday Fun Day, I will change my name. But okay. I love having Sunday Fun Days.
All right. So next week could be a really fun day.
Next week is kind of a little bit of a what do you call it?
Chaos?
A ritual for me.
Yes. So, the champ is MIA once again. This seems to be a running thing with him.
In his defense, he was at the Purdue game up in Detroit where they beat Tennessee.
Is that in his defense, though?
I mean, as big as a Purdue homer he is, as a Purdue mark as he is,
I'm not sure he's either a bigger WWE mark or a bigger Purdue mark. What do you think?
I would say way more Purdue mark.
Okay. All right. Majin says, as the commissioner of KOP, he is hereby stripping Tanner of his championship.
Yeah, he's gonna lose it in Dynasty anyways. If he was a real man, he'd put it up at some other pay-per-views that's coming up that's kind of big, but
yeah, well, no, he won't do that. We've tried.
Again. Oh, sorry, I wasn't waiting on you tonight, Paul.
Yeah, what are we drinking tonight?
Oh boy, hold on.
Uh-oh. I'm still adjusting. Okay, I've got a new podcast area, setting up my new office, so I'm still adjusting, trying to figure out where the good spot on the camera is and all that good.
So, Thursday, I think I texted you guys. I was in the lovely city of Indianapolis, Indiana, and down there in old Indianapolis, they get a little bit more. What do you say? They get a little more cool stuff down there than we do in our little town. So I have 2 debuts tonight.
Okay.
The first one Tanner talked about last week because he couldn't find it in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Yeah.
So we just cracked open and put in a frothy mug a little Stone Cold Broken Skull American Lager. Okay, I don't do the IPA stuff. That's for millennials and weirdos. So yeah, give me all the cheap heat I can get, right?
Yeah.
So IPAs and double wheat ales and all that shit. So we're gonna try this. Again, I'm not a beer drinker. I like to have a cold light beer, domestic light beer, but in lieu of WrestleMania season, Steve Austin's Broken Skull American Lager. So I'm going to give you my full breakdown opinion, whether I'm going to drink it all or I'm not going to dump it. That's alcohol abuse. That's
yeah.
All right, here we go.
Yeah. All right.
Here we go.
While you do that, Majin says a WWE pay-per-view might be the only chance you guys have to beat Tanner because we've both struggled on AEW ones. Which he's not wrong, but that all changes in April. Yeah.
It's
different.
It is very citrusy. Like, almost like a what's that? A Leinenkugel summer ale or beach ale or whatever the hell those guys call that. I mean, it's a pint. I'm gonna drink it, and Once I drink it, we have a special reveal coming up. Just letting you know. But let, let me choke down this shit first, and then we'll have another special reveal. Maybe
Okay.
it's a special reveal once we start talking about WrestleMania.
Ooh, Majin says that's weird since Austin said he hates those citrusy stuff.
Stone Cold said he hates citrusy stuff. This shit is about as citrusy as you can get. And
Are we talking like Mountain Dew citrusy or
no, like this sitting in a 110-degree day floating down the river type beer.
Okay. So this summer in Indiana.
Yeah, but it's a lager, so it's definitely not a light beer. 4.8% by volume.
Okay.
And it comes in a pint. It's a cool ass can. I mean, this can's going back on the memorabilia wall back there with the Flair Woo Energy can. So
that you make sure stays hidden so we can't see it on the podcast.
Oh, it's right. Yeah, it's right there.
Over the shoulder.
Now, if let's give it a score. If Woo Energy was a 0.79 on a 10 scale, yeah. I'm going to give the Broken Skull American Lager a 6.2.
All right. So yeah. what we're saying is it's definitely better than Woo Energy.
Oh, I mean, at this point in time, and again, no disrespect to one of the greatest of all time, I wouldn't give Woo Energy to the neighbor's dog.
Ooh.
So.
Ooh. Hey, Shep, here's another question for you. Did you get your fantasy picks in?
My headphones are cutting out, Paul. I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and I bring that up because our friends over at AEW Metrics say run in, and they're coming out. They're calling you out, brother.
Yeah,
Oh, Metrics got Shep to disappear. Maybe next time, Metrics. Maybe next time.
It's so much work typing that shit. I don't know how you guys do it.
Yeah. Just like that, you just do it once, and then you
I know. I had it half typed out. Then I got distracted. If you guys follow the podcast, I am very, very ADHD, and yes. I like to jump around and go to vowels. So for me to sit down and like spend 15, 20 minutes like dedicated to this and typing it in, I'm sorry.
It should take you like 5.
I'm a shitty typer. I got fat thumbs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, are we gonna talk some AEW or what?
I don't know. Do you want to? Is that what we do here?
Yeah, because I gotta choke this shit down before we break out my next surprise.
Oh, okay. Well, then let's kick it off with Dynamite, where we kicked off Ospreay versus Shibata. This was, I cannot believe we got this for free on television. Ospreay picks up the victory. Ospreay hits the Tiger Driver 91 and Hidden Blade for the pinfall. Absolutely amazing match. If you haven't watched this match, I don't know why we got this on free television, but I'm glad we did.
So enjoyed it immensely. I thought it started a little slow though.
Yes, it did.
First 5-6 minutes, I'm like, okay, guys, come on, pick up the pace a little bit. And I'm just being critical right now because again, we are very lucky to get this match free on television. So, I mean, we can't be over the top marks, right?
Right.
So if we're gonna critique it a little bit, it started a little slow, especially for the first match of the night. But then after 6 minutes in, it just took off, full throttle ahead, absolute banger.
Absolutely. It did. It seemed like too many holds for these guys in that first couple minutes. Maybe that was your feel out process, but it definitely took a little bit of time to fire this match up. But once it got fired up, it didn't stop. Ospreay picks up the victory. After the match, both men bow to each other. Then a video package about Bryan Danielson being the greatest technician plays.
They're doing a really good job building up to Dynasty with these two.
Yeah, they keep referring to it as a feud, though. To me, this isn't a feud because it's just two guys wanting to say, look, here's what we can do.
You can't call it a feud because they've never been in the ring before together.
Exactly.
So now, do I hope we get a best of 3, kind of like we did Ospreay Omega?
I hope so.
But yeah, you can't call it a feud because these guys have never grappled before. So
right, I'll call it a feud after Dynasty.
Because it should lead into all out, right? All in. I get them confused. All in's in May, right?
Yep.
In Vegas. So
no, all outs in Vegas. All in's overseas.
Sorry, all outs in Vegas in May.
Yes.
I get them confused.
Well, they're like back-to-back weeks apart. A week apart.
Danielson and Nigel McGuinness definitely in Wembley. And I think we talked about early in the week, all of a sudden, Nigel just comes out and says, I hop back in the ring and I don't feel bad.
Yeah.
So
I'm all for that.
Well, you're all for it because when those two had a great match, it was on ROH. And back then, I think the only way you could have watched ROH was when he did their streaming platform. I don't even know if it was on regular pay-per-view.
I don't think so.
If anybody out there can confirm that for me, because I didn't watch ROH back in the day, especially their premium live events. So to see those two on a pay-per-view would be amazing.
Majin corrected me. He says you can call it a feud. They haven't had a match, sure, but they're feuding. They're competing on who the better wrestler is. All you need to be a feud is a reason for competing. Seeing who the better wrestler is does help.
Okay, I don't disagree. I don't disagree with him. And then actually to put a little cherry on his point is the last month when Danielson's in the ring, Nigel just bashes him on commentary. Just
Majin's still referring to Ospreay Danielson.
Sorry.
I was just letting you get your Nigel Danielson shtick down before I pop those up.
Yeah, that to me is a feud because he's been talking shit about him for the last month or two on commentary, which I love. I think it's great.
All right. Backstage, Renee interviews the Young Bucks, who say they've done everything they promised to do upon their return and celebrate Okada's win. They say Okada won the title on his own and they will defeat Private Party on their own. They tell Renee to smile more as the beaming that she's not Alex Marvez.
Great.
Yeah. And then we get an exclusive look at Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah, I didn't care about that, but I thought when they said you need to smile more, her look on her face was priceless. Like, I love this asshole gimmick by the Bucks, and then when they pick on the backstage reporters and especially Renee, because I think Renee's one of the best. She gave a little look and it sold it right. So good little segment.
Absolutely. Back from commercial break, Okada arrives in a Ferrari brandishing the Continental Championship. And now it's time for the Young Bucks versus Private Party, which there was no doubt the Bucks were picking up the victory here. The Bucks come back, hit the EVP trigger for the pinfall.
He slipped.
Mm-hmm.
And Tony called it a stutter step, right?
Yes. Yes.
He slipped, but
Yep.
you know what? I thought the match was better than I expected.
Mm-hmm.
We don't see a lot of Private Party, but obviously the Bucks like these guys. The Bucks put them over. I think back in Hog Wrestling back in the day. Was it Hog Wrestling?
Yeah.
So obviously the Bucks have a spot for these guys. They think they're going to be something, and they're not bad. They don't have the size for me. I mean, they're smaller than the Bucks, but they're good in the ring. They can fly a little bit. So overall, a good match. Yes, we knew the Bucks were going to go over, but wasn't bad television.
No, it was not. And I think, is it Private Party who the Bucks put over in the original tag team tournament for the titles?
It could be. I just remember the first time as AEW was forming, the Bucks put those guys over in Hog Wrestling. And then maybe they put them over once when they first came to AEW.
Majin says, yes, it was. Thanks, Majin.
I mean, that's back in what, 2018? 18
19.
or 19? Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. He also says the show just felt like banger after banger, which we'll get to more of the bangers coming up here in a little bit.
I mean, that's a pretty good first two matches if I have to say so myself.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we see Okada is shown watching approvingly a video package about Takeshita plays ahead of his main event against Swerve Strickland. And backstage, Mercedes Moné is shown arriving in a luxury SUV. Mercedes.
Ugh. What's when her music hit? What's the first thing I text you and Tanner?
You expect me to remember that?
Yeah. You don't have to look it up. I'll tell you. Where's the
Thanks.
I said, where's the pop?
Oh.
And you said we're not in Boston anymore.
Oh, yeah. That's true. That's exactly true. We're not in Boston anymore.
I thought the crowd was very, very quiet. And then eventually when she made halfway down the ramp, they started singing the CEO song.
Mm-hmm.
But the initial pop was not there.
Yes. Yeah, but before Mercedes comes out, we get a video package, Darby Allin and Tony Hawk telling people about the skate park project the charity Darby was raising money for with his now canceled Everest climb. Thank goodness, because I'm still not sure that guy would have come back down.
I agree.
Tony then does some sick skateboarding tricks, including a hand plant on Darby's broken foot.
I thought it was weird. It was
very weird. Backstage, Jericho tells Hook that he is better than he expected. Jericho says he's never been in the ring with anyone like him and that he will give him any advice he wants. Hook says he knows who Jericho is. Jericho says he knows who Hook can be. They bump fists to a mixed reaction from the crowd. It's kind of how I felt about that whole segment.
Man, Jericho looks tired and old.
Yes.
And I don't mean to say this because he's 50 whatever, right?
Yeah.
55.
Sure.
You know what? Sting didn't look tired and old at 62 or 3. Billy Gunn doesn't look old and tired, and I think he's almost 60.
Jericho's 53.
But I don't know. I feel like if Paul, you smoke cigarettes, right?
Used to, yeah.
Okay, used to. I feel like if you would stand next to Jericho and light a cigarette, his hair would go. Poof.
Wow.
I mean, is it me or does it look that like?
It does. It does. Billy Gunn 60, by the way.
Okay. But he doesn't look old and tired. I mean, that dude looks in phenomenal shape.
Yeah.
To me, Jericho looks old and tired.
Majin says neither of them are rockers and partying all the time like Jericho do, though.
No, that is correct, because I know back in the day, Billy Gunn, because he traveled on the road with Stone Cold, and listening to some podcasts back in the day, those guys had hellacious times. I don't think he does it now. I know Jericho still loves to drink his vodka on the rocks, bless his heart. But yeah, still do something with the hair, man.
Yeah.
Do something with the hair. Jericho used to have short hair. He had a crew cut at one point, but literally the hair, I think if you would light up a cigarette next to him, it would just poof.
Even with the second coming of Y2J over in that other company, he had that shorter haircut with the bangs a little bit longer to spike them up, but
the scarf. Yeah. Whatever.
The list.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to keep finding my mouse. I actually have 2 monitors tonight too.
Well, you're getting all fancy, Paul.
I'm trying. Majin says Mercedes' run so far just isn't hitting with him. She feels forced. And Steffi says, welcome to She Won't Last.
I'll ask the followers who so far has had worst. It's not even ring gear because they're not wrestling. Worst attire, Mercedes or Jade Cargill?
Oh,
both of their attires look like they can damn near move. So you guys feel free to comment on who's, because I'm sure you've seen both.
Yeah. I'm not even. We'll get to that rabbit hole later tonight. Oh, I'm sure. All right. So Mercedes makes her way down for commentary, which, yeah, sure. That's what you want to call it, saying like 4 things. For the AEW TBS Championships #1 contenders match, we see Willow Nightingale, Anna Jay, Chris Statlander, and Sky Blue. Willow Nightingale picks up the victory here. Julia Hart attacks Nightingale after the match and poses with the title. Julia then stares down Mercedes Moné. And speaking of Sky Blue, I had the chance to sit down over the phone and talk with her for a little bit. That is up on all of our social media or podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast. So go check out my interview with Sky Blue.
Very good interview, Paul.
Thank you.
I mean, does she carry the interview? But very good job.
Yeah. Well, they didn't give me any talking points. And Sky's still young. You could tell she's not used to doing a whole lot of interviews, but I think she did very well for being newer.
What, is she 24 years old?
Oh, God, I knew you were going to ask me. Hold on. Yeah, 24. Spot on. Good job.
Yes. Yeah. I've seen her. I've seen her in Warrior Wrestling a couple times. And I think she's come a really, really long way in a very, very short time.
Yes.
I would say in the next 2 years, she will be carrying the women's division in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Not to interrupt you again. I think she could be she will be the youngest AEW women's world champion ever.
Yeah, because she's a few years younger than Britt.
Yeah, and she's come so far, still working the independents, and
yeah, Britt's 32. Majin says, to answer your question, Shep, Jade's, though, is to accentuate her muscles. Mercedes has none, so Mercedes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you can't argue that point.
No.
I know Tanner's and I have been a fan of Mercedes, but when it comes to overall physique, you can't compare.
No. And Majin says either her or Anna Jay, both are young. I think you put Anna Jay in the TBS title picture and leave her there for a while. Nothing against Anna Jay. I'm a big Anna Jay fan, but I just think she's
I
not
think
quite there yet.
no, but I think if you're comparing Anna Jay to Sky Blue, I think Sky Blue has a little more charisma.
Yes. Yeah.
Even though she's got this House of Black theme starting to overtake her ever since she took the mist to the face.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Which she mentions in the interview that she just felt it was time to give in to those dark thoughts and turn heel. So. All right. Backstage, Renee interviews Dustin Rhodes, who says the roster is very talented and all of his matches have been very good. Bangers, all of them, he says. The Butcher interrupts him and says he wants to fight him. Dustin says Butcher has a stinky mustache. They agree to a match on Friday night's Rampage.
I thought this was going to be kind of a serious back and forth, and he starts making fun of the dude's mustache, and it smells like shit. It was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
Well, I mean, it's Dustin, even when he tries to be serious, he's still gold dust. He still has that gold dust mentality in there, and it just slips out.
So, you ready for our first rabbit hole?
Yeah, hold on a second here.
There you go.
We'll flash up that we're going down a rabbit hole.
Is anybody watched Dustin's social media on Twitter this week? I still call it Twitter. I refuse to call it X.
Yep.
He has not said no.
Right.
But has been very, how do you say it? Open to the fact of him appearing on Sunday night at WrestleMania 40 in Philly.
Yep.
And not to pat myself on the back, but I will. I think it was a month or so ago, 2 months ago, we've been talking about this whole after WrestleMania. Let's talk about that. After WrestleMania, we were talking about Cody finishing the story, yada, yada, yada. And I said, if there's going to be some run-ins because of the Rock and the bloodline, yada, 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 there's one guy that's got to show up, and that's Dustin. And the reason he's got to show up is because his boss will do business because it's what's best for the wrestling business. Not what's best for AEW, not what's best for WWE. It's what's best for the wrestling business and what us as wrestling fans want to see.
Yep.
So the rules have been, or the stipulations have been set. If Seth and Cody lose night 1, it's Bloodline rules night 2, which is kind of anything goes. You're going to have the Bloodline, including The Rock, and all the Usos,
and Fatu's
and the whole Samoan clan. We get it.
All 792 of them.
And there's a lot of them. And there's a lot of them available right now that can show up too.
Mm-hmm.
But then you look at Cody's side. It's already been rumored Cena and Stone Cold. I don't think they have much. They don't have much in common with him. But there's guys like DDP has been in Cody's
wheelhouse.
He showed up on an NWA event as part of the Nightmare family. So you got DDP, you got Dustin. So I feel like there are gonna be some run-ins, okay? And I have a feeling Tony Khan doesn't even have to think about it. He's gonna say, yes, go do it. I mean, that's just me. So I see Dustin showing up Sunday night. I said it a month ago or a month and a half ago after the Rumble. I says it's what's right for business. And he will be Dustin. He will be he'll be the natural Dustin Rhodes. He will not come down as Gold Dust. No.
don't need a partner. I need my older brother.
Oh, look, you guys gonna be some Cody crybabies all of a sudden, or what?
No, that Dusty and Dustin did that.
I know they did it, and they put on a hell of a match, which
They
I
did.
think was in Vegas too, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let me ask you this.
Hurry, because this shit sucks, and I need to make a cocktail. So go ahead.
Okay. If we're talking about run-ins, and the Nightmare Family, do we get your favorite boy, QT?
Oh,
Haha.
that's a hell of a question.
But while you're
I don't think so, and here's why. Nothing against QT, because at the end of QT's run, what he was doing in Mexico was some of his best work that we've seen. We don't see QT because the WWE audience doesn't know who QT is. I'd say the majority of them don't know who he is. Do we obviously know who he is? Yeah, because we're AEW fans. But if he runs down in the middle, everybody's gonna go, who's this guy? Somebody jumped the guardrail? So
I mean, it's happened before.
It's happened before, but not in the main event.
All right. So does somebody who just recently came back to the company down on NXT come to help Cody?
Okay, you're gonna have to fill me in this. I don't watch NXT, so
The chairman.
oh, Sean Spears. No, Sean Spears and Cody were never on the same page.
Okay.
If you remember when Sean Spears appeared, he cracked Cody over the head with a chair unprotected and was busting him open.
Yeah.
Now, hold on. And again, I haven't watched NXT. Is he going by Sean Spears or is he going by Ty Dillinger?
I don't know. I just know he kept AEW's entrance where he has the chair and he sits on it and the spotlight comes down on him. So I didn't catch how he came out as, though.
Because he was Ty Dillinger before, correct?
Yes, he was the perfect 10 Ty Dillinger.
If he's doing the chair, I bet they call him Sean Spears. I mean, I can look it up here in a minute. But
Majin says he's going by Spears still.
Okay.
Thanks, Majin.
Yeah, I don't see Sean. I don't see that connection.
All right. I'll save my thoughts on the final person till we go down some other rabbit holes after we finish AEW talk. Or, well, it'll be while we talk Collision.
Is your final person CM Punk?
Oh, God, no.
Okay, just checking.
No. Okay, so backstage, back to Dynamite, now that we've pulled ourselves out of our first rabbit hole of the night. TCM's Ben, Ben, we'll just go by that because I don't know how to pronounce his last name, congratulates Toni Storm for her accomplishments. And then we go to a commercial break. She doesn't seem to know who he is. It's time. We were back from commercial. We see a video package about Swerve Strickland ahead of tonight's main event. And then it's time for the AEW World Tag Team Championship Tournament quarterfinal match. Best Friends versus the Undisputed Kingdom. Best Friends pick up the victory here with a little help from Chucky T.
Chucky T. The old Kentucky gentleman.
Yes.
This match was okay.
It was one I didn't really pay too much attention to. No offense to either team. I like both teams, but I just don't think they should be in this.
Best Friends should not be in this?
Best Friends or the Kingdom.
Now, I could debate both. Debate the Kingdom because they're the current ROH champion, so they should have a spot because they're obviously one of the best tag teams in the company.
Okay.
best friends just because they've been together so long, and we've seen them in some fairly big profile matches. So if you're going to give Orange a break from chasing his old belt, this kind of fits. Yeah. So you can debate for both. I get you on the best friends. On the Kingdom, I would say they need to be in there. They're a current tag champion, and at one point we've had ROH and no, they were never AEW tag team champions at the time. Sorry. At one time, FTR held 3 belts, everything but the AEW championships, but they were always involved in the AEW title picture. So, yeah, Kingdom.
Okay. Backstage, Renee interviews Kyle O'Reilly, who says that he's going to wrestle on Collision and will prove he can win on his own. Perfect. That's all you needed from him.
Short and sweet.
Yeah.
I don't think Kyle's your over the top banger promo kind of guy.
No.
But he's just a hell of a performer in the ring, so that's where we need to see him.
Yeah. And if you want him on the mic, keep it short and sweet like this, I said I was going to wrestle on my own and win on my own, and that's what I'm going to do on Collision. We'll see you there. Boom. Done. Move on. Back from commercial break, a video package plays detailing Adam Copeland's emotions following his bloody battle with Christian Cage and announcing the return of the Cope Open, which I have thoughts on that when we get to the Cope Open on Saturday night. But right now it is main event time. Another match that we got for free on television that could have easily been a pay-per-view quality show or match, and that is Takeshita versus Strickland, where Strickland does pick up the victory with the JML driver.
Very good match.
Very good match.
Probably up there for match of the week, if not match of the month. So, and when I say match of the month, look at what we had with Ospreay earlier in the month.
Yeah.
I felt that it contended with those matches. Takeshita is a hell of a performer. Swerve is selling me more and more. At first, I was not a fan of his. And when I say not a fan, I just didn't care for him. Not that his ability is not there. But the more and more we got into the Hangman feud and now into the Joe feud, he's starting to reel me in. And so he's reeling me in on the personal side of it. And then obviously the in-ring portion's already been there from day one. So the more and more I watch of this guy and his feuds, the more and more I'm in. I bite in, and it's like, damn, he is damn good.
Absolutely. All right. Well, to end our Dynamite coverage, backstage, Samoa Joe tells Swerve that he is not ready for him, and they will have a contract signing next week. You're not the man. You're not the man, Shep. You're not the man. All right. Rampage. Any thoughts on Dynamite before we move to Rampage?
I thought it was a better Dynamite than we've seen in the last couple of weeks, and we've had some really, really good Dynamites. So it was one of the higher Dynamites for me.
Okay.
And it was because of the opening match, the closing match, and some of the backstage work.
All right. Rampage. We all know you don't watch it. You read the spoilers.
I love spoilers. You hit the button.
You're lucky.
Hit the button.
You're lucky. Dustin Rhodes Butcher's match was
I
not the best.
I watched it.
Whew. Rampage had a few hiccups this week.
You know what, though? Dustin wrestles once a month. The Butcher wrestles once a month. You're going to have that, right?
Mm-hmm.
They just didn't click. Some of the things weren't smooth.
Yeah. Dustin picks up the victory, though. We then head over to a video of the Bang Bang Gang breaking into Billy Gunn's home. Nobody was home, but somehow AEW television was on the TV.
I saw that.
Jay holds a bat as he intends to send a message to the Acclaimed and Billy. However, Billy and his wife walk in. They quickly run out, and we get to break. Come back. Deonna Purrazzo versus Rose. One thing I love about AEW is the fact that they give the indie folks a chance to be on something every single week. Most of the time it's a loss, like it was for Rose this week. Rose taps out as Purrazzo locks in a boot and cinches in an arm submission. Rose quickly tapped out to the arm submission.
But to your point, Paul, it puts these people in front of an audience that might not see them. You know, what's the percentage? And we'll never really know the true number, but if you have a 5,000 person house of AEW, 25% of the people watch indies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you have a 8,000 person house of WWE, 5% of those people watch the indies.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason the AEW one's higher is because TK brings them in and gives them a little screen time, a little love.
Yeah.
So
that's one of my favorite things about AEW.
Again, it's Tony Khan does what's best for the wrestling business. Yes, he has AEW in mind, but he knows he's elevating the other wrestlers that need to make a living. He's elevating them by giving them a 5-minute match on national television.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've seen some guys end up on AEW television that I've shared locker rooms with before. So, I mean, it's kind of cool. Mariah May, Tony Storm, and Luther then make their way down to the ring. Nikita is already waiting inside. Storm grabs the mic, introduces herself, then says she has some devastating news. She says she is unable to compete tonight as the result of a hamstring injury, but May will be taking her place and asks if May is ready. She says yes. Mariah May picks up the victory here, but I thought this match was advertised as Mariah May versus Nikita.
It was.
Okay.
But I love.
I didn't think I was still totally.
It was, and it kind of threw me off at first when I did watch the show, but it was fast forward. But I'm gonna stop for a Tony Storm segment, and I just love that she just assumed it was her match, and she basically says, "You're my fill-in, my stand-in, or however."
Yeah.
However you say it in theater talk. So
I hear the same sirens behind you that just went by my house not too long ago.
Yeah, I'm hearing those too, and I have headphones on. So
yeah, gotta love mics.
Yeah.
All right, we then head backstage and see Cool Hand Angelo Parker blindside Zach Knight with an attack. All right, this Harley chick, I don't know if she's trying to be understudy. Majin says that would be understudy.
Understudy, you're correct. My bad. Fill in, stand in, understudy, whatever.
Yeah, thanks, Majin.
I wasn't a big theatric guy in high school, so I couldn't tell you.
No, not you, Shep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they're trying to play this Harley off as like a Harley Quinn type of person, but she was sniffing hair and chewing on it, and yeah,
A little different.
a little different. But Ruby Soho sees Cool Hand Ange, tells him that she asked him for one thing, not to go looking for a fight. She tells him that she can't be here for this and walks off. Back from break, the Undisputed Kingdom makes their way down to the ring. Daddy Magic follows as we get ready for the main event, Roderick Strong versus Daddy Magic in an AEW International Championship Eliminator match.
Why wouldn't you just give him a title shot like they did with OC? Like OC just had a title, like random guys every week.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a title match.
Yeah.
So why not just give Daddy Magic a title match instead of calling it an eliminator match, which makes no freaking sense. I'm not going to say the word yet, Paul.
Okay.
Because it's early.
Yeah, we're only 47 minutes in.
Okay, when's the last time we were 47 minutes in and you hadn't hit the
explicit yet?
Yeah.
I don't know. Last week we hit it like 2.5 minutes in. So I mean,
it was that damn fly. I got him. I haven't seen him in here lately. So
yeah.
It was that damn fly. Anyway.
Roderick Strong wins. See, you could have just had it as a title match. After the match, Taven and Bennett beat down Daddy Magic as Strong grabs a chair from the outside. Taven ascends to the top. OC and Trent Beretta run down to the ring to even the odds. The two of them hug each other in the center of the ring, but the Young Bucks appear out of nowhere and low blow the both of them. They then deliver the EVP trigger and stand tall as the show goes off the air.
At least he didn't slip.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm sorry, stutter step.
All right.
I think it's funny.
That was Rampage. Now to Collision, the show where you go to get a lot of cheap heat. I mean, yeah.
Well,
Cope Open.
Okay, Cope Open. You read that. I got a surprise. For everybody.
All right, and I'll wait to explain cheap heat statement here. But Adam Copeland gets down. Matt Cardona's music hits as he makes his way to the ring. The former Edge head. There we go. Trying to remember how to push buttons here.
How far did you get?
Cardona's music hit.
Oh, you muted my mic because my ice machine was too loud, wasn't it?
Yes. Oh. That's why I didn't get any further. Your ice machine threw me off.
All right. Well, let's go with my surprise.
Okay. Let's get your surprise.
So you're going to laugh. So I had to drive to Indianapolis for this. This was on Thursday. I sent you and Tanner the picture. I have found it.
Shep, Majin's got a question for you real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Is the surprise Mommy Wayne in a thong?
To answer your question, no, it's not a thong. She wears a G-string.
Wow.
Completely different there, Majin.
Mm-hmm. Steffi says you has a crown. Or you has crown.
Yeah. I do have some crown. But we have seen Cody Rhodes' bus of late is wrapped in a company called Wheatley Vodka.
Mm-hmm.
Pow.
Hey.
I had to drive to Indianapolis to get some of this stuff. As you can see, the seal is there. I haven't cracked it yet, although I wanted to.
Yeah.
But funny story, Saturday I get off of work and I run across to my local liquor store to get a bottle to watch some NCAA games. Had some friends coming over, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm picking up my normal bottle that we won't say their name because they won't advertise this, and you can't tag them on Twitter because they're a bunch of pussies. This guy is literally stocking the shelves with this. So you can get this in Rochester, Indiana for $1 cheaper a bottle, by the way.
Plus saving on gas to drive to India.
So $20.99. My liquor store literally 50 yards out of my front has this for $19.99 a bottle. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this the right way.
Oh.
So we'll give a little pour. We'll do the original before I put a little mixer in there like I like to do. Taste it get a little cool there. We're gonna take a smart idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's vodka. 82 proof.
Ooh,
that's vodka. All right.
That's vodka.
Yeah.
Majin says, put hair on the chest.
So far, if we're judging if Cody's going to finish the story by the taste of that, we're fucked.
There it is.
Sorry. All right. There we go. Let's get a little mixer in there, what we drink every day.
A little bit of the bubbly.
Yeah. Not because Jericho said I drank that shit before Jericho mentioned it. Just to let you guys know. All right. We'll have a little sippy this way with the mixer in there. That's better. That's better. Yeah, don't drink it on the rocks. Not gonna work.
Don't drink it on the rocks. Info from the Shep.
No. I like vodka, and there's a couple vodkas I'll drink on the rocks, but unfortunately, Wheatley vodka is not one. But it does taste good when you make a little mixer with it. Again, support Wheatley vodka because guess what? Wheatley vodka supports professional wrestling, and we need to support them. So there you go.
Yes. I don't know if you were paying attention, Shep, or not, but I disappeared for a brief second, and everybody noticed. Majin says I got sent to the Shadow Realm. I'm back, though. No, I was getting weather updates. Apparently, there are some storms moving into our local area, so Shep and I could disappear.
Yes, there was. It was right before we talked about the sirens you're hearing in the background of mine.
Mm-hmm.
It was raining really hard. I have a metal roof on this building I'm in right now, and it took me by a little bit surprised because it got really loud in here for a second.
Yeah. So if Shep and I start to pixelate out and freeze and all that stuff, it could be one of us, it could be both of us. But that is why storms moving in, and you never know how internet's going to handle that.
And you and I use the same internet provider.
Yes. So, all right. Cope Open. Cheap Heat. Matt Cardona shows up to answer the Cope Open. Now, why I say cheap heat is because Friday night, Matt Cardona was in Indianapolis, Indiana at the Squared Circle Expo. He had a match, lost his title, stormed out of the building, apparently already knew he was going to Canada to take on Cope because he storms out of the building, which is, as you and I both know, Shep, like right by an airport.
It is.
Grabbed his bags and disappeared. I don't know if Squared Circle Expo was fully in on what was happening or not, but they promised refunds for everybody who was supposed to get photo ops with Cardona. They said, luckily, there weren't that many, but still.
So was he scheduled to be there Saturday as well?
He was, and he was scheduled to be in a match Saturday night at Squared Circle Expo.
Was he originally as well?
Yes.
So he did a doubler.
Yeah. And he was replaced. at Squared Circle Expo in that match by another guy he used to share the ring with, Nick Nemeth.
So who do you lose the belt to on Friday night?
Yeah, that guy. Mm-hmm.
Nick Nemeth. Okay.
No, not Nick Nemeth.
Oh.
Uh,
Ultimo Dragon?
Yes. Yes.
So he lost to a 57-year-old Ultimo Dragon on Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously,
to go fly out to Canada and take on.
Obviously, TK made a really nice payment.
Mm-hmm. Oh, had to have.
That hotel that you guys were at, because were you there Friday or Saturday?
I was not there at all, unfortunately.
Oh, okay, I thought you'd go down to that one.
I was planning to, but I did not make it.
Okay.
No, he lost it to Nick Nemeth apparently
on Friday.
Yes.
Okay.
Because they show Cardona or Nemeth is the champion. And a shocking turn of events at Black Label Pro's Squared Circle Expo. The Wanted Man, Nick Nemeth, defeated SCX champion Matt Cardona. Nick Nemeth is your new champion. Cardona vows to not show up to Squared Circle Expo tomorrow to fulfill his contractual obligations to sign at the event.
Yeah. Hey, obviously TK made the phone call, and he obviously has a writer in his contract or something like that. If I'm guessing he has a writer in his contract, if AEW calls or WWE calls, he can break.
Oh, I'm sure
break that, which I get. All good. I mean, obviously, if you paid money to see him Saturday night, and to wait in line, I get it. But then again, you're a wrestling fan. You know what he's doing, and you got to be okay with it. So,
yeah. And you don't have the book of face, so I don't know if you saw what our co-host shared with us earlier. Cardona eats corn the long way.
That's funny. You know what?
Yeah.
So that
you
hotel
lose Friday night and then fly to Canada to lose to Copeland.
Yeah, but how big's that paycheck?
How cool is it to face the guy outside of the company where you both started, the guy who brought you in?
And they mentioned that a lot on AEW television too. They mentioned
the edgeheads.
Yeah, they mentioned teacher versus student. I don't know if it's necessarily teacher versus student, because I'm pretty sure Cardona was trained by Mikey Whipwreck.
Mm-hmm. I do believe you're right.
That would be his, obviously teacher, but maybe the guy that introduced him in the business and took him under his wing, and I get that, but I thought Mikey Whipwreck was Cardona's trainer.
Yep, you're right.
So I'm okay with it. I thought it was a great match. I love he came out. The music hit. Not a lot of people knew that music, and then as soon as Cardona's name came across the screen, he got a very, very good pop, I thought.
Majin agrees, but you're on Global TV 2 with AEW. I'd take being on TV over a show for a small crowd. Okay, Square Circle Expo isn't exactly a small crowd, but there's probably a bigger paycheck.
Yeah, and nothing against Squared Circle Expo, because this is the third year, right?
Yeah, it's a great show.
They bring a lot of names in, and obviously sell a lot of tickets, and it's great. Now, I've never been to it, but I've been to conventions in that hotel. That hotel is the biggest piece of shit I've ever been to in my life. Okay. And I won't even get into why I've been to conventions there, because if I tell you why I've been to conventions there, I'll get pissed off with that organization I'm involved in. But they have their yearly conventions there, and it's the biggest piece of shit. The bar sucks. The restaurant sucks. Anyways, don't even get me started. And the room that the mat, I saw pictures of Nemeth and Ultimo Dragon, and I'm like, I've sat in meetings in that fucking room, and they're fucking half the ceiling tiles are stained and dripping water on them. I'm glad they didn't slip and tear Achilles. All right, I'm done. It's a shitty hotel.
Yeah, it is. I went to the second one.
You were there. You've been there twice, haven't you?
No, I've only been once.
Was it last year or the year before?
It was last year, so it was the second one.
Okay.
And yeah, they're like, oh, there's food available. Come check out the catering. I'm like, all right, cool. Half a cold meat sandwich. And that's it.
Yeah.
That was their catering. And it was like $5 for that sandwich.
Yeah. Yeah. I paid $15 for some instant eggs and Canadian bacon. It's not even real bacon because it's from Canada. Sorry, Canadian people. I forgot we have Canadians listening. Sorry. For eggs and ham. That's what I got. Anyways.
Steffi says, what name? Because I have been in shitty hotels.
It's the Wyndham West, Indianapolis. I've been, and unfortunately, I know, Paul, you've only been there once. I have done,
and it was under construction when I was there.
It's always under construction.
Yes.
Okay, I've been to 3 conventions there. I'm not going to tell you the conventions that I was a part of. I'm not a part of anymore. But they have their state conventions there every October, 3rd week of October. There, you can do the math. And the place sucks. And I can tell you this, they charge to have a convention there, it's $70,000.
Wow.
And the reason I know this is because they take the cost of said convention and they divide it across the members of the state of Indiana. So I did the math because I know, and it was 70 convention there. It was whatever. That's another rabbit hole we don't need to go down.
No, we don't.
No.
But yeah, it was nice to see Copeland and Cardona go one-on-one. Following the match, the lights went out. They came back up to reveal Malachi Black. Copeland was ready to defend himself when Black spit mist down his face. Buddy Matthews attacked Copeland from behind. Mark Briscoe came down to save him. Kingston made his way to the ring. As they began a standoff, the lights went down. They come back up. House of Black was gone.
Malachi Black, Adam Copeland, something I never thought we'd ever see. I'm in.
Let's do it.
I'm in.
Oh, you and me both. You and me both. All right. I'm trying to remember where my mouse goes. Yeah, where my mouse is. Steffi says, never order the fish and chips. Fish is clearly frozen and not fresh. Talking about the Wyndham.
Yes. I'm just now shouldn't have made fun of.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens.
We get a video package of FTR calling the infantry the Cinderella story of this tournament. We get FTR and the infantry in tag action. FTR hit a shadow machine for the win.
I thought it was a really good match, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, didn't dislike the match at all.
No, it was a very entertaining match. Especially because I haven't seen a whole lot of infantry, so this is a nice way to get people who aren't familiar with who they are familiar with them. Even if they're not picking up wins, you're getting them out there with names like FTR, seeing what they can do, and they're having a good time and putting on a good match.
Yeah, and FTR can work with darn near anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So, this match went, probably 12 to 15 minutes?
Yeah.
And it was really good.
Yes. Definitely went a lot longer than the next match. Kyle O'Reilly versus JD Drake. Yeah.
Good for JD Drake.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Okay. Uh-oh. Steph is going to make Shep go down a bunch of rabbit holes and say explicit things. She's over FTR.
How can you be over FTR?
Hold on. Okay, now my finger's over the button. You can go.
No. I'm taking a deep breath.
You're gonna stay calm.
In through the nose, out through the mouth. How the fuck can you be over FTR?
You wait till I look away for just a split second.
I'm just saying they go into a match with the infantry, but they work so well with guys that they're not working with on a weekly basis. They make these guys look really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody they work with, they make look good. I mean, if we have to go back to them working with the Briscoes, they make people look good and they can talk.
Majin says, for one, they have no Riz. Every promo they cut is the same.
That's no. Well, because they show their passion about professional wrestling and that's what they cut a promo about? Okay. Yeah. There you go.
Getting ready to cut a promo about his passion for FTR.
I mean, if you don't like FTR, I'm sorry. You must think ham is bacon. Cheers. I still love you guys, but cheers.
All right. Oh, all right. I hear a lot of people talking crap about the horsemen or the workhorsemen or whatever they're called, the workhorses. Yeah. Trying to find my mouse again. Majin says, we're the hard-hitting vets. We're old school. Our families, family this, family that. Steffi says she didn't say she didn't like them. And Majin says, we've heard it already. Mix it up.
Hey, when you only give them one promo every 3 weeks on Collision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But JD Drake and those guys, they are put down a lot because they pretty much come out and job to everybody. But these guys, especially JD Drake, has been around since AEW formed, and he's there every week, even if it's just backstage. He's always doing something to help better the company. So you got to have a little bit of respect for the guy. He may not be the best in the ring, but he's doing what he wants. He's going out there and he's helping get other people over. He's helping Kyle O'Reilly shake off that ring rust.
I don't dislike the guy. I think he's had some good matches in the past.
No, I didn't say you disliked him. I'm just saying, there's a lot of people out there saying, why is JD Drake still around? All he does is job. Well, because he's helping guys. He's coaching them basically.
So does
being a coach.
So does Sir Pentaco or whatever the hell his name is.
Yes. Between the two, I'd rather be with JD Drake. That's just me.
I mean, the guy actually wrestled without a mask, and I forget what they called him. And
yeah,
he had one of the most viral moments when he jumped off the top and Joe just shrugged him off. Was I mean, that guy might go in the Hall of Fame just because of that moment.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
and he wasn't even wrestling under the name that he normally wrestles under. So,
Right. All right. Top Flight was in a match, tag match that they won. There was some really weird spots in this. Like
it was a quick one.
There was a pinfall that I don't know how it was only a 2. Because Starks never kicked out. I'm trying my best not to say the other guy's name because I know how much you hate him.
He didn't have much to do with anything, but
No, he got his head kicked off at one point.
yeah. And then I thought the Pele kick on Ricky was obviously it was pretty solid.
Right.
Obviously, it knocked him loopy.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know if Top Flight was supposed to win this match or not from the way it all went down right there at the end, but they did. But Starks was being attended to in the ring following the match.
I kind of thought on my bracket I had Starks and Bill matching up against FTR.
Yeah. So did
which,
I.
Which I don't mind. I would mind seeing that match. I
Mhm.
don't know if I want to see Top Flight and FTR.
Again.
Completely different styles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like you said again, but yeah, I didn't think something wasn't right towards the end. It was a very quick match. What was it? Was it 2-3 minutes?
Yeah. When Dante got that first pin on Starks, that's when it looked like it went south. I don't know what happened, but Dante kind of launched himself off of Starks, and Starks just kind of sat there in the same position. Like there's no way he kicked out of that, and you can tell it.
Yeah. Yeah, the way he had him rolled up.
Yeah. And the fans even caught it because they started booing. So, yeah, hopefully Starks is okay. Steffi says he's okay, supposedly. So let's hope so.
He's okay. His contract's up soon.
Yeah. WWE.
He wants
Cody. Thunder Rosa, Lady Frost, up next. And Rosa hit a backstabber and a Tijuna bomb for the win.
Is it me? But every time I see Lady Frost, I really, really enjoy her.
Oh, she is very talented. Whether she's taking a win or a loss, she's putting on a hell of a match.
Yeah. Saw her back. I think she wrestled a couple times in NWA. And then she was in TNA Impact. And then now with AEW. But yeah, I think that very, very talented and enjoy every match she's in.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Majin, I'm glad Tanner's back next week, so I don't have to do this. Majin says, give her the graphic now.
Yeah.
I keep losing where my mouse is.
I mean, the women's division in AEW is getting stacked.
Yes. Yeah, it is. And it's, if we can get Lady Frost, I think.
Headline with Paul's girlfriend, Mercedes Moné.
Ouch.
Sorry, I didn't mean those to be fighting words.
BL.
It's Bill. That's William Morrissey, by the way.
Big BL. Anyway. Main event time. The Blackpool Combat Club with Shibata taking on the Righteous and Lance Archer. Lance Archer just fits right into the Righteous, in my opinion.
He does. I don't disagree with that at all.
The look, everything about him. He would be a perfect addition.
So this was live Saturday night, correct?
Yes.
So Friday night, the BCC was in Mexico.
Correct.
So they flew from Mexico to Canada.
Correct.
Okay. They were in Mexico for CMLL. And from the highlights I've seen was an amazing match. And is it Arena El Mexico? Is that what they call that arena?
I have no clue.
One
knows
of the most
stuff, not me.
One of the most thanks, Paul. That is one of the most famous arenas in Mexico.
It is.
I saw pictures. The place looks absolutely jam-packed. And I'm going to say 10 to 15 Arena Mexico. Thank you. 10 to 15
with the save.
10 to 15,000 people. I thought Wheeler Yuta was hurt, so their fill-in was Matt Sydal.
Yeah.
Which I thought was odd.
Shep was a better fill-in.
Matt Sydal took the pin /tap.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't make Moxley, Cardio, or Danielson bad. But I thought it was good. I thought it was really good that they promoted this match on social media the way they did, because I think we'll see them guys in Mexico in the future. Yes. And I think we'll continue that relationship with CMLL. So for them to then turn around and fly on a plane to Canada and then have a match on
London,
Saturday
Ontario,
night.
Canada.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and pick up the victory, which
they did not pick up the victory on Friday night because Sydal tapped to an armbar to say the name.
Mystico.
Used to be Sin Cara, right?
Yes.
Mystico.
I don't do Spanish very well.
Either do I. I flunked.
You and me both.
Yeah. Well, the problem is my grandma was a Puerto Rican and she speaks 100% fluent Spanish, and I still flunked out of Spanish. So
that's really bad on your behalf.
My parents are really proud.
I bet. All right. So, with that being said,
it's raining really hard over here, Paul.
I can hear it. Good Lord. Trying to move things here and figure out how I want to do this. All right. So let's talk show of the week.
Ooh. You want me to go first?
Yeah.
It's called Dynamite.
Ooh. Okay. With a what rating?
Dynamite was above average for me. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm going 7.7.
Ooh.
That's a high rating.
All right. Yeah, that is. All right. Well, I'm right there with you with Dynamite. But you're actually higher than me this week at a 7.3.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Majin also has a question for you, Shep. What you watching?
We are watching I think it's the Food City 400 from Richmond Speedway, NASCAR.
Hey, Steffi knew.
Yeah. Shep, I do watch NASCAR. Do you guys see? If you look above me here, these are wings or side wings from dirt sprint cars. It's a long story. And then these are some of the fake cardboard checks when you win a race. So, and then over here, if you look over there, Those are a bunch of actually worn helmets that a guy sponsor. And then when he's done racing, I get him a new helmet. And he gives me it's a really good and a shitty deal for the sponsor like me, but hey, I get to put them in here and we get to have odd conversations about them. So I do love racing. That is me.
Majin says, "Don't get her started. She'll never shut up."
Hey, they do have a form of NASCAR in Canada. Toyota. It's not the Toyota owners. Is it? I don't think it is. Food City is Bristol. You're right. Good Lord, I'll look the damn thing up. Is it really the Toyota owners? I'm going to be pissed if it is. Fuck. It probably is.
Oh, man.
If you guys don't know, my profession is in the automotive world.
Yes, it is.
And I don't like Toyota.
No, okay. He's a GM guy.
I do like General Motors. Hold on here.
Which is why if you think back to when Shep first joined the podcast, there used to be a pretty little bow tie above him.
There was.
It did not make it onto the wall behind him in his new location.
It's close. It's in the other room right now.
Majin says, "I told you don't get her started. I told you she'd never shut up. You opened Pandora's box." I'm a Doctor Who fan, so I almost said Pandora's box because that's an episode of Doctor Who.
Well, I'm on ESPN right now, and they don't say who sponsored it, so I can't argue with her right now.
Good.
But I'll tell you right now, she's going to ask, I am a Kyle Larson fan. I die. If you look behind me, this number 2 wing actually owned the car Kyle owned on the World Outlaw Series. One of my best friends drove the car, but when he was sponsored by Chevrolet accessories, this was from his car. So there you go. Short and sweet.
Oh, okay. All right. I wasn't sure. She says you might be watching an older one.
No, it's live.
It's live. Oh,
it's live, and fucking Christopher Bell's winning, arch enemy of mine. So, he drives a Toyota.
All
anyway,
right.
So hey,
hi.
We have not talked about my boy yet.
Well, no, because I was getting ready to ask you.
Oh, okay.
Wrestler of the week.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot about the Wrestler of the week. Man,
yeah. So you actually, didn't even make it there.
This is a tough one for me. Yes, I love me some Hendrix. Hendrix is where we go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna take the easy cop out.
There's an easy cop out.
Yeah, there is an easy cop out. My wrestler of the week.
Say it again. I didn't catch it. You're breaking up. Or I'm breaking up. One of the two.
We have storms.
Takeshita. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I leave it wide open. I have a lot of wide open for you.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with somebody who also lost this week. Just because I like cheap heat, because I'm a heel myself. Cardona.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going with Shibata, but
no, Cardona. Able to get cheap heat, able to take on somebody he has said 1,000 times he wants to wrestle. He finally got to do it. So congratulations to him for that, and proving why he is in fact the indie god, even though he lost.
Yeah, and I love I think eventually here in the next year or two, we'll see him sign a contract with one of the major promotions and finish his career.
Oh
But
yeah.
I think right now he is just doing what he's doing and loving every bit of it. I think he loves the control he has, which he never had before. And I still think he could have a chance to make a run at WWE, and he will make a run under Matt Cardona. I don't think he ever goes back to Zack Ryder. I really don't.
No.
So,
Okay. So, I'll go over and hit this button, and then we'll talk about this. If I can find it. There it is. Found it.
So, what do you guys want to talk about?
So, what do you want to talk about, Shep?
The Rock is the raging. How about
The
that?
final boss. This is like the third final boss gimmick in 2 years.
Yeah. You know what though? For WWE having to backpedal, for the way the crowd reacted to The Rock after the Cody segment, I think it is working out really well. And I think The Rock is just running with it. So at first they thought they got their hand caught in the cookie jar, okay? And then now all of a sudden, I feel like they're making $1 million out of this.
Yeah.
And it starts with the 5, 6, 7 minute online Rock promos that he's posted on social media.
Yes.
To the point where he even called Dave LaGreca out on those.
Yeah.
Which I can speak for you and Tanner. I think this podcast is a fan of Busted Open. We like to listen to those guys. Those guys are awesome. So for Dave LaGreca to get involved in the promos, with LaGreca being a very, very big Cody crybaby, they're just taking it and run with it. And this past week with Rock just beating the living tar out of Cody in front of his bus. Obviously, these guys got a lot of free promo this week. I don't know how much it cost to wrap that bus. But they got a lot of free promo. And then afterwards on social media, the footage comes out with camera. You can see the WWE live cameras and the producers saying they're clear. And then Rock says, "Fuck you. I'm still going to beat the living shit out of him." And he does. And he says, "I could care less about the cameras because guess what? I'm the boss. I can do what I want." So I love that aspect. And in the Cody story, it just puts another aspect of like, oh man, it's just going stacking against him.
Yep.
Now all of a sudden you have a guy that is on the board of directors of this company, and the guy on the board of directors absolutely hates you and wants to beat the living shit out of you. He wants to bloody you and then give the bloody belt to your mom, who's going to sit front row.
Yep.
So, I mean, again,
ultimate underdog story.
Yeah, and I know this is an AEW podcast, but I feel like the WWE has knocked this story out of the park.
And it's about damn time.
But but think about it. Look what it took, Paul.
Yeah.
It took The Rock. It took Paul. 2 goats right there, right? Roman's pretty good, okay? He ain't bad.
Yeah.
Cody and everything Cody's been dealt with and his whole backstory they have documented, I mean, it's taken some pretty highfalutin people to bring some attention to this organization again. Not that they were in the shits, but all of a sudden now, since the bloodline story happened with Cody the last 3 months, I mean, they're selling 10,000 house shows, you know, and just rocking it.
Where mommy's pulling her freaking trunks into her butt crack, and
well, I mean, you got that. You got that too. And, Shayna Baszler got the bad end of that deal.
She begged for it though.
Yeah, but she begged for mommy and got Nia Jax. So
yeah,
might be a little different smell there, bud.
Wow, Shep.
Anyways.
So we were just talking about him, and we were talking about run-ins earlier. It's been well documented that Cardona is a big, good friend of Cody's. Do you think he makes a run-in at Mania? Just to see what his reaction could be if he decides to go back there.
If the price is right, he'll do it.
Okay. You don't think he'll just do it as a fan, so to speak?
Well, I feel like Cardona's in the position right now where he handles 100% of his business.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll do it if it's okay for him. Yeah, it's been on social media. It's well documented that Brandy and Cody are really good friends with him and Chelsea. They hang out. They're in those weddings, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe it is, and maybe it's a reintroduction to the company under Matt Cardona.
Okay.
So again, there's going to be 100 Fatus, 100 Samoans, and you only got DDP, Cena, and Austin if they say that's going to happen. DDP, Dustin. I mean, yeah, you're going to need another guy in his corner if there's that many run-ins.
Majin just took the thought right out of my brain. We're going to see Brandy, aren't we?
We're gonna see her in the front row, but we're not gonna see her in the match.
Okay, you don't think she smacks somebody?
She might. I mean, if you remember last year, we saw her front row with her daughter.
Yeah.
So I think you'll see that again. I don't think you'll see her get involved. Maybe she smacks The Rock. If she's gonna smack anybody, it's gonna be The Rock, right?
Yeah. Rikishi, maybe if he shows up, I could see Rikishi saying, "Hit me with a slap."
Yeah, Rikishi, his whole life was a face. It's hard for him to come down as a heel.
No, he had a heel run.
Did he?
Well, kind of. He turned his back on Too Cool. Okay, yeah, it was just in a Royal Rumble match. I get that, but that kind of showed he could do it. So.
Yeah. Actually, I want to see if Brandy slaps The Rock and then The Rock turns around and she goes to slap him again and she grabs his hand. And The Rock's got her hand. I'm trying to think of a female friend that could come down and save her. I don't know. There's so many options.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Sunday night, that main event, you're going to have 10 plus people involved.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
So.
Majin says he turned heel when the whole "I did it for The Rock" thing happened. Steffi says, I did it for The Rock. No, you did not, you thong-wearing fatty. Pulling
What's
Rock promos here.
the obsession with thongs tonight, by the way?
Pulling old Rock promos.
Oh, okay.
Rock did that. He goes, oh, I did it for The Rock. No, you did not, you thong-wearing fatty. Go look it up. It's good.
I'll watch it on YouTube here in a bit.
Yeah, it's one of those where he makes fun of like everybody. He makes fun of Angle and Austin and Taker and Rikishi and a whole bunch of people.
You know, another guy we should have made fun of tonight, but we really can't because Purdue won was Tanner. But at one point in time, I thought we were gonna have to like check on Tanner, make sure he's okay. I think Purdue was down like 9, 10, 11 points. In the first half.
Yeah. I was gonna say, at least the drive was for something, because if they would have lost, that would have been terrible.
Oh,
And the money, get the tickets, make the drive just for them to lose.
Yeah, which I think Detroit to Fort Wayne, Indiana is probably 3 hours.
Yeah, I think he's probably just now getting close to being home.
Well,
I don't know. I haven't heard from him. So
at least Purdue won.
Yeah,
obviously us. I'm an IU fan.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to root for Purdue, but Big Ten team. They beat an SEC team. I think the SEC sucks balls, so I'm okay with.
Go trees.
Go tree. Anyways, yeah. So Paul, let's talk about next week.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a big. So far, kind of a big Dynamite.
Yep.
They've announced some pretty good matches for Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got WrestleMania next weekend.
Yes, I saw a post on.
Oh, wow, Tanner's ears must have been burning.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
He just got home. He must have been listening to us on YouTube.
Sure. Or he's just saying, hey, just got home. Because he said something about, I hope you guys had a good podcast. Hope you guys had a good show. I'll get it posted on audio in the morning. And I was like, still going. Get on with us, pansy.
Obviously, he's not listening. If he said, hope you had a good podcast.
Yeah. I mean, we're only an hour and 40 into this. Come on, Tanner. You should know better than that.
That's rookie numbers.
Yeah. We try to reach that 2-hour mark every week.
So, what do we do? Do we do the podcast at 8:30 next Sunday?
No, I don't think we can. I think we get to, since, the champ didn't show up, he doesn't get to, he's too tired. Pansy.
Somebody's got to hand Zach Edey water bottles all day long, so he's tired. I could have made a comment about a jockstrap, but that's mean.
Hey, we've got like 12 hours till he even catches this, so we're good. We'll both be at work and, not paying attention to what he's texting us at that point in time. Yeah, so next weekend, next Saturday and Sunday is Mania. Who knows what's going to happen with Tanner, because I think doesn't Purdue play next Saturday? Yeah, they'll play.
They'll play Saturday, yeah.
NC State,
11 seed.
Yeah.
That shouldn't have been in the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
And then tonight turned around and beat the best team in the ACC. Well, could have been North Carolina, but they turned around and beat Duke. And, yeah, completely shocked the world, actually.
Yeah.
So,
Wolfpack. Oh,
I didn't know you're a big Wolfpack guy.
I'm not. I literally was clicking through on Google and it came up and said NC State Wolfpack. So I just said Wolfpack.
I love the underdog for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to. God damn it. I was trying to go to the bracket so I could tell you the time.
6:09 p.m. Saturday, April 6th.
Okay, there you go. You beat me to it.
I still have it up.
Oh, I thought. So yeah, 6:09 NC State versus Purdue.
Bama UConn 8:49 p.m.
Yep, 8:49. So, what's happening next Saturday night?
Night one of WrestleMania,
Headlined by The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins and the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes.
Yes.
If they lose, Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, it's bloodline rules.
Yes.
If Cody and Seth wins, it's everybody barred from ringside. It's 1-on-1, right?
Yep.
So Rock and Roman win, and we're gonna get bloodline rules, and then we're gonna have the opportunity of 100 run-ins.
Mm-hmm. So, if you're Seth Rollins, how do you feel knowing you're gonna lose twice at Mania? How do you recover from that?
Who's he facing night 2?
McIntyre.
Is that done deal?
Yeah. And Punk will be on commentary.
No, he doesn't lose night 2.
You don't think he does? You think he wins?
I think no. Punk will cost McIntyre the title with all the shit McIntyre's been doing. Yeah.
See, I was kind of going McIntyre wins due to a distraction from Punk. He goes to distract McIntyre, distracts Rollins instead, and McIntyre picks up the win.
No, I think it's the other way around. I think Punk cost McIntyre the match, setting up their feud for SummerSlam. And just because of all the personal stuff McIntyre's done, I love it. The other day he went to the bakery in Chicago.
Yeah.
Is it Kelly's Bakery? I'm going to get that wrong.
Mary's.
Is it Mary's?
Maggie's. Kelly's. I don't know.
Obviously, the reason this brings up is because Punk was eating the baked goods after an AEW show for the infamous
Mindy's.
That's close. I said Mary's, right?
I don't know.
Anyways, it was good. It was good that he showed up because we all know, because everybody followed Punk and knew he was eating these goods, baked goods, in AEW at a post media scrum.
Closed Monday and Tuesday.
And then he shows up and he's like, shit, they're closed Monday and Tuesday, and I'm here on Monday. I loved it. It was awesome.
So, see, here's my thought. All right. McIntyre wins the gold. Punk McIntyre feud for the gold.
Okay. But that'll be at SummerSlam. You can have Seth Rollins dump that title in between Mania and SummerSlam, where he doesn't look like he gets buried 2 nights in a row. You know, every once in a while, it's okay to dump that belt on a Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, but here's the problem. WWE hasn't done anything like that in forever.
Well, they have different creative now.
Do they?
Yeah, they do. I think they do. Yeah, I'll give I'll give Tripp credit here. He doesn't have to. When he wants to make a decision to do something, I think everybody will roll with him.
Okay. All right.
And
Majin says Rollins has a losing Mania record as it is. 2 more wouldn't hurt.
he also won the belt at Mania too. So
Yeah.
you don't want to bury that guy 2 days in a row. Yeah, Cody's going to be your everyday champion, right? He's going to show up, unlike Roman. So you don't want to bury the guy that's been there every day, right?
Yeah.
And unless you really want to put the belt on Punk at SummerSlam, that's the only other reason why you would have him drop the belt.
Okay.
And McIntyre will hold it from now until SummerSlam.
Okay. All right. I think it goes on Punk at SummerSlam regardless, whether that's McIntyre holding it or Rollins holding it.
As long as he's healthy.
Pepsi Phil healthy? No, he'll get injured in the middle of the match like he has every match since he came back to wrestling. Majin says Rollins had it for a while already, though, and McIntyre deserves a proper run for carrying the title through the pandemic. And see, here's the thing: McIntyre's contract's coming up. So if he doesn't win the title, he could say, "Screw you, I'm leaving." Do you risk losing a guy like McIntyre? But here again, Rollins is a trip boy.
I don't think any of those guys negotiate their contract around titles, do they?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Isn't that a kind of unwritten rule? Like you don't, it's earned.
It's supposed to be.
Okay. Well, I guess shit changes, right? If he wants to do it, he can do it. But
yeah. I mean, like I said, the big problem we've run into is, McIntyre would do great to carry that title. But Rollins is a Triple H boy. Trips doesn't like his boys losing all that much.
Yeah.
So if we're going to go that path, then of course Rollins, or this is how it will go because Rollins is an H boy. Cody will eat the pin on night 1. So Rollins can say, I didn't lose. And then Rollins will pick up the victory on night 2.
Oh, I think Cody gets pinned by The Rock on night 1.
Probably.
Because I don't think you can put the belt on Cody and bury The Rock on the same thing. So I think The Rock gets the pin on night 1, and then I think Cody goes over night 2. Because you can't have Roman taking 2 pins.
Yeah.
So you don't want to hurt Seth because of he's got a belt on him. The guy that doesn't have a belt on him is Cody. So yeah, I think Rock pins Cody night 1.
Okay.
So there's our predictions.
Yeah.
My predictions, I should say.
Yeah.
And then we got to figure out when the hell we're going to do this podcast on Sunday.
Well, that's where I was going to go since our champion decides not to come to work because apparently some basketball team is more important than, professional wrestling and actually showing up to work. I think that means you and I get to pick when this happens.
I
think do it early.
Actually, We're an AEW podcast, correct?
We are.
We love AEW.
We do.
But we love professional wrestling.
That we do.
Why don't we do a watch along on the main event Saturday night? Because we're all going to be watching.
Okay.
A little bit earlier. We could start a little bit early and cover our Dynamite and Collision like we do.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we would decide to go down our rabbit hole after the two shows, we could time it to the start of the main event of night one.
Yeah. So come in about an hour before main event and go from there.
I would be good with that. I could flip the old laptop around, which I know everybody loves watching my NASCAR, right? I'd have to flip it around so we don't get like copyright infringements, right?
Yeah.
I'd have to sit on the other side of the bar.
Yeah.
So,
well, and then that way you could see it too.
I could see it too. And guess what? If I flip it around, I'd be easier to cocktails, like easier access.
Yes.
So,
so as of right now, we're planning, or do we take a week off from AEW because it is Wrestle Freaking Mania?
But I feel that if we have some followers that love AEW like we do, I feel like we should still give them a little bit of Dynamite and Collision content.
Okay.
I feel like that they're going to big matches for Collision because it is running up against WrestleMania, right?
And the Final Four.
Well, unfortunately, it goes on at 11:30 at night, doesn't it?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that's the late one next week.
That's the late one next week. Is it live or is it taped?
I don't know.
So we're going up against the Final Four, WrestleMania. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Collision. You might need to take a week off.
Mm-hmm.
But we can figure something out. We'll figure something out. But I'd love to do a live watch along for the main event on Saturday night. And if we could talk a little Dynamite and Collision up until that point, it'd be good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good with that.
I have to change my name. I'd like to have a Sunday Fun Day times 7, which I will because I'll party on Sunday because Cody's going to take care of the story. Shut up, Paul. Cody's not going to lose.
Look, 1, 2, 3, ding, ding, ding. That's what we will see next Sunday night.
Well, if we did a watch along on Sunday night and he lost, you couldn't hit that button fast enough or enough.
I would just finish the show like this.
Yeah, you would just cut my mic off and just put that logo on there for the next week. And then I maybe would come up in the next week and say, like, let's talk about something else. And then I'd go on. So
Majin's getting the same feeling I am.
Well, I think it's gas, guys. It's gas.
Okay. Here's the problem. There's been too much talk about Roman's reign, no pun intended there, against Hogan's. So why all of a sudden bring that up if they don't want Roman to beat Hogan's reign?
Well, I feel like they've erased Hogan anyways because of his past history of shit he's done in the last 10 years, which is obviously not kosher. Not saying he obviously wasn't bad enough to get canceled, but damn near close. So I don't feel they even recognize him anymore. So
okay.
All
right.
I'm 100% on board with Cody going night 2 with what we're going to see with The Rock. From now, we're going to see him Saturday night. Like I said, The Rock will pin Cody.
Majin says Cody doesn't feel like the guy to do it either, since he's not going for it on his own merit, but rather his dad's.
It's not his dad's, it's his family.
Well, he said he was coming back to win this title for his dad because it was the title his dad never won.
Yeah, but his brother never won it.
I know.
So
I know.
I think it's more.
They
I
gave
think
it
it's
to
more
Dusty
family.
and then took it away from him. That was the whole issue.
Yeah, no. He wins night 2, and if he doesn't win night 2, then me and Dave LaGreca will go ape shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it'll be a it'll be ugly. It'll be ugly.
They've made it all about his dad, all about his family. Cody is the afterthought in his own damn story. Thoughts from Majin right there.
I didn't realize we had a bunch of Cody haters here.
It's not. I don't think it's so much that we're Cody haters, because I'm a Cody mark. I'll tell you that right off the bat. I got him and Dustin over here to my left right now in a painting. They're not actually here. I don't think I would say these things if Cody was actually here, because my head would probably already be through the wall beside me.
Hey, Paul, that was to the right.
You're right, my left.
Okay. All right.
Camera. But no, it's not so much that we're hating on Cody as, again,
no, you are hating Cody.
Okay, Majin and myself. But it's just, this doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't feel like it's the time for him to do it. It doesn't feel like he's going to. It feels like they're just building this all up to let us all down again and give that big middle finger to their fans, which I want Cody to win. Don't get me wrong. But I'm tired of hearing about my dad, my brother, my sister, my family. I get it.
Well, hold on.
But
you got 2.5 months between the Royal Rumble and Mania, right?
mm-hmm.
Okay. You have to build and / sell a story, correct?
Right.
So you're sick of hearing about this, but that's what they're doing. They're selling the story.
Why couldn't the story be, Cody, what makes you think you're able to do it this year? You couldn't do it last year.
He got robbed. Solo spiked him. He got robbed.
But there's your story.
Okay. But he fought back. He went through Brock Lesnar. He went through somebody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
He went through Brock Lesnar. He went through somebody else at Survivor Series. I can't remember the shit. I slept since then. And then he turned around and he wins the Royal Rumble again, back to back. He's doing it for the family. He's doing it for his father. Like, he is storytelling right now. So you can't get on his ass for storytelling. He's got 2.5 months of content he's got to fill from the Rumble till now. So you can't give him shit about talking about his dad, talking about his mom one week, talking about his brother one week. You can't give him shit about that.
And I'm fine with that if it was just 2.5 months. This has been going on since Rumble of last year, though.
Well, it's because they didn't put the fucking belt on him last year.
Right. So since the Rumble of last year, Cody has done nothing but talk about his dad, his mom, his brother, and occasionally talk about his wife and kid. They're like the afterthought. And okay,
No.
I understand it's the Rhodes family. There's more than one royal family in professional wrestling. I get that. But when is enough?
Well, it'll be different when he wins the belt.
I hope so. Because I can't go through, like I said, I'm a Cody Mark, but I cannot go through another year of my dad, my brother, my sister, my mom, my dad, my brother, my mom, my dad.
So, what was his storyline in AEW? He lost that match, and he said he would never, ever challenge for the AEW title ever, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you think in his mind when he came to WWE, he would do the same? He would have matches for it, but he would never win. Do you think he's playing us? You think he's just getting us hook, line, and sinker, and he knows he never wants to have that belt, just like he didn't want to have the AEW belt?
Yeah.
So he's just playing us like pawns, which whatever. We're wrestling fans, right? We get invested.
Mm-hmm. If he doesn't win at Mania, that's exactly what I'm saying.
If he doesn't win Night 2 of Mania, then he never wins the belt.
Exactly.
But I think he wins Night 2 of Mania, so.
Okay. All right.
We're gonna disagree on that one.
That again, I want him to win Night 2. I'm not saying I don't want him to win the belt. I'm saying part of me is worried because you bring up his storyline in AEW. Remember, he broke a throne in AEW. Not just any throne.
Well, hey, there's a lot of people that sit on thrones, man. Like kings.
Someone who's got a very specific throne with a very specific logo on it.
I mean,
The King of Kings.
yeah, that was the King of Ecuador.
The cerebral assassin.
Okay, the King of Spain, the King of Turkey. I don't know. Those guys, those countries probably don't have kings, so I'm just being smart.
And to do it with a sledgehammer.
Well, that was kind of a coincidence. What else you gonna hit? What else? What else you gonna hit the damn thing with?
Sparklers.
A bowling ball?
Sparklers. You put it in the exploding barbed wire death match and set it on fire with sparklers.
Oh, Jesus. Don't even go there.
Sparklers.
I know what you're saying. I get it.
But here's the thing. Triple H is his boss. I mean, so's the board, so's the Rock, but Triple H is in charge of creative.
Yeah.
When has Triple H ever gotten over anything somebody did to him?
Well, I mean, he never got over Test dating Stephanie because he ended up marrying Stephanie. So that one's a bad example. I don't know the politics backstage in WWE, but I'm sure that had to be a talk. It had to be a talk because Cody comes back and they do the documentary on Peacock, right?
Mm-hmm.
Great documentary.
Fantastic.
They use that footage in that documentary. So Triple H has to be okay with it. And at some point in time, Triple H has to realize this is professional wrestling. He's going to do what's best for business. So can you imagine the merch sales that they're going to sell Monday night? I don't know where. I'm guessing WrestleMania or Monday Night Raw is in Philly at one of the arenas, right?
I'm sure.
Can you imagine the T-shirt merch sales they'll sell of a Cody Championship shirt?
Mm-hmm.
They'll sell out. It's what's right. It's what's right for business.
Wells Fargo Center in Philly.
Yeah. So that's my stance. It's happening. Night 2. Night 1, Cody takes the pin on The Rock. Night 2, Cody wins.
Okay. I'm hoping you're right, Shep. I don't say that very often, but I'm really hoping you're right.
Paul agrees with me. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to agree with you. Yes, I really do. I just, I don't know.
Okay. Let's change subjects real quick.
All right.
You got Raw, night after Raw of WrestleMania, and you got WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Out of WrestleMania and the night after Raw, what is the biggest surprise appearance we're going to see?
All right. Ooh. Man, there are so many people who could appear out of nowhere.
Because we're going to get a surprise, right? We always do.
You would hope. Sheamus.
Ooh. You think he comes back?
Or like Majin just said, Matt Hardy.
No.
You don't think Hardy finds a way out of his contract and goes back?
No. I don't think they want him.
Not to be rude, but does anybody?
No.
No offense, but there comes a point in time when you're an extreme champ or an extreme wrestler, and that's all you do. 90% of your matches are extreme matches. You retire.
I think the biggest appearance, and I think we're gonna have some good ones on Monday night because that's always the NXT call-ups, right?
Mm-hmm. That's how Paige won her first title.
Yeah. I still think the biggest appearance will be from the natural Dustin Rhodes. We will see Dustin Rhodes on Sunday night. He will be there. And let's just say he doesn't do a run-in, okay? He will be there, and he will Andy or he's with his be a stepmother, Mama Rhodes, because I think Dustin's mom has passed. I think. Look that up for me. But I think you'll see I think you'll see Dustin on camera at some point in time on Sunday.
Okay. Trying to find it.
I think you have too many monitors you're looking at, Paul.
I'm down to one.
Oh, you're down to one now? Okay.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. Last year.
Okay. I thought
January 4th last year. So as we've been talking, Majin says Lexis King gets called up. Roxana Perez gets called up.
I'm good with the Perez. I agree with that one.
And Steph says, let that loser rot in NXT.
Which one?
I don't know. I'm guessing Lexis King
King.
Nope, no, let that loser rot in NXT.
Yeah.
So
Perez, I like Roxanne Perez. I liked her in ROH. So
okay. All right, Shep. Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so. I think we'll We'll get with Tanner here in the next couple of days, and we'll update our following on what we're going to do this weekend, because it's going to be an exciting weekend. There is a mega shit ton of professional wrestling coming from the Philadelphia area starting, I think, Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's shows. So many independent wrestling shows around the area. I know there's a couple shows at the 2300 Arena, which is the old ECW arena. I know Busted Open's doing a show at the ECW arena. It's going to be madness. So if you're a pro wrestling fan, you better buckle up them britches, chin up, tits out, watch for the shoe, and pour you a damn vodka.
It's WrestleMania week, baby.
Yeah.
All right. So let's wrap this, shall we?
Wrap it up, Paul.
Be sure to follow the Kicking Out Podcast on all social media at Kicking Out Pod. Be sure to check out kickingoutshop.com. It's your place to go for all your KOP merchandise. Support a great podcast and look fantastic doing so. WrestleMania is approaching, so maybe we can talk Tanner into a weekend special or something. So stay tuned to the social media. Again, that's Kicking Out Pod. Maybe you'll see a promo code come up this week. You never know. Be sure to listen to the Kicking Out Podcast wherever it is you listen to your podcast. And if that happens to be Apple Podcasts, be sure that 5-star review, because we are 5-star KOP. Be sure to follow your KOP Predictions Champion on social media, because that's the only place you're ever going to see him at Tanner Lee 92. Follow Austin Shepard at the Shep27, and follow myself, Paul Zartman, at Paul Zartman 921. And with that, for Austin Shepard, I'm Paul Zartman. Join us again next week as we kick out yet another podcast.